Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing? Good evening, Terrell, my brother. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Y'all welcome to On the Shoulders of Giants Tuesday Night Live. If this is your first time, I am Joseph Ward. I am the host, the proprietor here of On the Shoulders of Giants. And you know, we do a plethora of things over here. For one, we do tell the stories of the sung and unsung heroes of the African diaspora. We make sure we know our history. That's the foundation of our channel. Secondly, we make sure that we cover stories that are relevant to our community, things that are going on, and give our perspective and a perspective that we can learn from and build from. And thirdly, I like to dedicate my platform to interviewing people throughout my community and various communities who are on the ground doing things, getting tangible outcomes to people who are normally overlooked. So, you know, we get it in over here, and I try to make sure I use my platform for good. So thank you all for being here tonight. Say, William, what's going on? William, what's going on, my brother? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So we got something tonight that's gonna make you mad. I ain't gonna lie, this story right here is gonna make you mad. I'm not sure how many people know about this. I'm not sure how widespread it is, but I decided that I want to cover it tonight because I thought it was some bull that was happening out here in Louisville, Kentucky, because our children are not safe in the hands of our oppressors. Our children are not safe being educated by people who don't have our best interests. Our children are better off being educated by us, being nurtured by us, being brought up by us, and being protected by us. Because now, we don't know all the details about this young man because he is a minor, but we do know his name is Samaj, and the hashtag is Justice for Samaj, right? So basically what's happening is there's a story out of Louisville, Kentucky that has sparked national outrage after a mother allegedly discovered abuse involving her young nonverbal autistic son while he was attending school. And this is an elementary school in Louisville, Kentucky. According to reports circulating online and local media coverage, the mother placed a hidden recording device on her child after suspecting something was wrong. The footage allegedly captured disturbing behavior involving school staff members. And basically what we're talking about is it's alleged abuse of the young man. It's alleged that not only was the young man basically had hands put on him, but he was racial slurs were thrown at the young man. He was called out of his name. It was called the N-word. And it was the suspect, the person who's suspected of doing it is a grown white man. And I have video, I have some clips that I took from TikTok and put together to kind of paint the picture of what's going on. But this is what we're getting into tonight. Of course, you know, it's a school night, so we're not here all night, but we're gonna get it right while we're here. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, hit that hype button. Hit that hype button too. And make sure you spread this out to as many people as possible. We need to make sure we know what's going on. We need to be abreast on what's going on to our people and our community, especially our children. Our children are not safe in the hands of people who don't give a damn about us. Our people are not safe in the hands of people who don't have our best interest, right? So, like I said, it's going to be something that's going to get people upset. It's going to be something that'll get you going, but it is what it is. And I want to make sure we know about it so we can put some thought together and plans together. How can we prevent this in the future? So I'm going to run this first clip, and then, you know, we're going to get into it, but I want to set the stage real quick.
Child Protective Services are investigating.
Hold on, let me do it right.
DPS and Child Protective Services are investigating abuse allegations at Field Elementary School. Mother Tiffany Lee first shared the allegations on social media, along with videos she says were taken by a camera she hid in her child's hair. Lee says a field staff member verbally and physically abused her son, who has autism and is nonverbal. Friday, Lee and Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins pushed for cameras to be installed in classrooms serving nonverbal children.
Our children deserve protection, transparency, and accountability at all times, not just when something goes wrong. No parent should have to question whether their child is safe at school.
A statement from the district says the staff member is not allowed in the building during the ongoing investigation. In a letter to families, field principal Deb Rivera wrote, "While I am unable to comment on actions regarding personnel, I want to assure you that we take these allegations seriously and are reviewing this incident with the district. We are following all JCPS policies and procedures to determine what happened and respond appropriately."
So I want to play that video to set the foundation for what we're dealing with. As you can see, you can hear the mother speaking out the pain in her voice because she suspected abuse at the school, but she couldn't prove it. So what she did was took a hair clip, a camera basically the size of a hair clip, and disguised as a hair clip rather than put it in the child's head. And as you're going to see in the video, what they allege, and I'm using the words alleged because we have to, but what they allege as abuse on the young boy or the man putting hands on the young boy. So that's what we're getting into tonight, man. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, hit that hype button, and make sure that people know what's going on out here, right? Because tonight we're discussing the story that has shaken people across this whole country to their core. It's a story involving, remember, it's a nonverbal autistic young black boy. A school system trusted with his care, an allegation so disturbing that his own mother reportedly felt forced to hide a recording device on her child just to discover the truth. Remember that. She suspected abuse. She thought something was going on. And so she put the hidden camera in the child's hair just to discover the truth that something was going on with her child, the alleged abuse, right? So think about that for a moment, right? Let that marinate in your mind, right? Imagine being the parent of a child who cannot fully explain what happens to him during the day, right? Your child cannot fully explain that, right? Imagine watching behavioral changes, emotional distress, fear, confusion, but your child cannot clearly tell you why. Imagine feeling so helpless that the only way you believe you can protect your son is by secretly recording what happens when you are not around. And according to reports, what was allegedly discovered has sparked outrage across social media and beyond. So tonight is bigger than one school. This is about all of our children being vulnerable to this system. All of our children being vulnerable, right? It's about a lack of trust. It's a lack of anything when it comes to our children being educated by people who don't have our best interests, right? This is about parents asking whether institutions truly protect the people they claim to serve. And because this child is black, because he is disabled, because he is nonverbal, this conversation also forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about race in America, empathy in America, and power dynamics in America. And we have to ask difficult questions. Who speaks for children who cannot speak for themselves? And luckily, his mother was there to advocate for him. But on a grand scale, who speaks for those children, right? How many warning signs get dismissed because a child has autism, right? The child cannot speak. The child cannot advocate for themselves. So how much is missed, right? How many parents are told their concerns are exaggerated until evidence becomes impossible to ignore? And perhaps most disturbing of all, how many stories like this never become public because there was no hidden camera? So tonight we're going to carefully examine the allegations, the institutional failures, the emotional impact on families, the special needs children, and what this says about the state of trust between parents and schools in America. Because if a parent no longer feels safe leaving their child at school, then something foundational in society is beginning to break. And we already know for our community, it is already broken. All right, justice for Samaj. Justice for Samaj. So let me go ahead and bring my video back up. This is about a 30-minute video about all the clips and stuff that I've put together, and we've already watched a little bit. So let's get into it, man. Remember, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, and let's make sure we understand what's going on. But also let's put our minds in a place of this what happened to Samaj. We know this happened to Samaj. So We also know this happens to other Black children, male or female, right? So let's put our minds in the place of what do we need to do to better protect our children? What do we need to do to not have our children be in environments where they are not safe? What do we need to do different as adults to create better environments, better communities, to better protect and educate our children? Let's put our minds in that state. So let's go. Okay, so this is the video that is recorded from the hairpiece and Samaj's dreads and his locks. So the hair clip hidden camera that was in Samaj's hair. This is the view and the audio from that. And let me back it up just a bit so we can get and you got to pay attention to get everything.
Get off me, girl. Back. Get off me, girl, boy. Get over. Get over. Hey, boy, play with you no more. Away. Get away.
Open today. Yeah. You can go online.
Get out of here.
So, and now, take it back a bit, but that is the video that the alleged abuse comes from, that the mother put into Samaj's hair. Now, of course, we can't show a lot of the whatever actually happened can't be shown, and his hair is obstructing the view, so we can't see exactly what has happened. But what we do hear, we hear what sounds like hitting Samaj being hit. We hear things being verbalized aggressively towards Samaj. And then we hear Samaj screaming in a panic, screaming as if something is wrong. Right? How you doing, Renee? What's going on tonight, Renee? And so, like I said, we can't see anything. Of course, we can't show it on YouTube, but we can't see exactly what's happening from our view. But we hear aggressive talk towards Samaj. We hear smacking or hitting, and then we hear Samaj screaming, right? So what we're talking about, once again, is a nonverbal child. They cannot explain what's happening. They cannot fully explain what's going on if they're nonverbal, right? So parents of autistic and disabled children often rely entirely on the trust of those who are supposed to be looking out for them and looking after them, right? So, think about it as a parent. Your child is out in the world, your child is at school, or wherever your child is, and your child is allegedly, and we still using allegedly being abused, allegedly being terrorized by especially the adults who's supposed to be looking after them. And your child cannot tell you what's going on, but you think something is going on. And so you have to go to the lengths of putting a hidden camera on your child, right? So now we're talking about emotional horror, right? So imagine knowing your child was suffering but unable to tell you. That's the thing we have to think about as, adults in this world. Like all the children who are not only in the trust of the hands of people who look like us, but who are in the trust of hands of people who don't look like us. And being in the trust of hands of people who don't look like us, you end up, well, you know, situations like this. You know, we go back to the Malcolm X quote, you got to be a fool to allow your enemies to educate your children, right? And then think about the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, everything that a parent would have when you see a video like this. You suspected abuse, but then you see the video and like, oh hell, something is actually going on with my child, right? So this story needs to explode online, and it needs to explode online because we're talking about a vulnerable child, a vulnerable Black child who is suspected to be abused by the adults around them. And then that video is one piece of evidence from the mother to say, yes, this is what's happening with my son, right? So, all right, so let's get further into the video. But actually, well, let's play this. We're gonna play this part again. We're gonna play this again, and we're gonna get further into the video.
Me now. Get off me now. Get back to me. Get off me now, boy. Get over. Get over. Hey, boy, come here. Don't play with you no more. Away. Get away.
Open today. To go online.
Get out of here.
Now I have, and see, I have never truly interacted with nonverbal autistic children. So I'm gonna need some of you all's help on this to help me fully conceptualize everything, because I want to make sure we're seeing what we're seeing and we're hearing what we're hearing, because I hear smacking, I hear hitting, and in the angle that it looks, and some of it, of course, like I said, the view is totally obstructed, but I hear hitting. And my first thought is somebody might say, well, it sounds like he's clapping his hands rather than putting his hands on Samaj. But then if Samaj is nonverbal, his reaction may be delayed. His response may be delayed. His verbal response may be delayed as well, because he's nonverbal. But it seems like somebody has put hands on this young man. That's what it seems like, right? So I don't know. So this part of the video is when the mother rolls up on the people in the school.
And route, or do you have LMPD coming, or do you have JCP?
The police is on the way. Y'all, my son has been abused at the school and they let this happen. My son has never pinched anyone. He's pinching him. But they're choking and calling him a nigger. Is that what y'all allow? Is that what y'all allow? My child is nonverbal autistic. And y'all call me every day, and said that he was doing stuff because he's being abused. And
now, let me play it. I'm gonna run it. The mother just said choking him. Let's not go that far. The mother just said choking him. So I want to make sure we heard what we heard. Let me get it.
the police is on the way. Y'all, my son has been abused at the school and they let this happen. My son has never pinched anyone. He's pinching him.
And then, so in this first part, she's saying that her son is being pinched. They from Louisville, Kentucky, so you know that little country. So she's saying pinch and pinch is the same thing, but she's saying the child is being pinched and the child is being allegedly pinched and allegedly strangled.
But the choking and calling him a nigger, is that what y'all allow? Is that what y'all allow?
So you heard she just said the choking and calling him the N-word.
My child is nonverbal autistic, and y'all called me every day, and said that he was doing stuff because he's being abused, and none of y'all seen it. So you didn't know? Did you not know he was being abused? Did you know that he was being abused? Did you know he was being abused? So y'all just let it happen. And I told y'all to investigate.
We're going to stop talking until the police get here, okay? So we can have it all officially on record.
Oh, it's on record.
Okay.
Everybody sure this, because my nonverbal child has been abused and these people been letting it happen. He was choking him, calling him a nigger on camera.
We're going to stop talking until the police arrive, okay? All right.
So from the mother's point of view, he was being choked and called the N-word by the male staff member, the male teacher in the class, right? So, and you saw the footage. So once again, this is the mother confronting the staff of the school.
Let me call OTSOG and make sure he's coming in.
Something told me, put a camera. God told me. God told me. Yes, God told me that he's a good boy at home. At church around a lot of people, he's a good boy. But somebody has to be doing something to him.
And see, that's one thing too, like what she just said. His behavior changed. So Samaj's behavior changed because he was being allegedly abused by the staff at the school. So before the alleged abuse, he was behaving one specific way. After the alleged abuse, they saw pretty much a decline in his behavior as far as him being good or how he was behaving. A decline more toward misbehaving rather than actually behaving in the manner that he was consistently doing until this alleged abuse started happening. Of course, once again, I got to use the word alleged, but use your imagination. So you got to pay attention to your children. But that's why when I'm out in my community and we're talking to especially young parents, that's why we're always really imparting into young parents to pay attention to your children and the development of your child. Pay attention to everything that's going on with your child. Listen to your child. Use critical thinking. Not saying you just jump and spring on any and everything, but use critical thinking. Use reasoning, but pay attention. If you pay attention to the development of your child from the beginning, you will know all the behavior patterns of your child. And when something is slightly off, you can tell that something is slightly off, and that's when you go into investigating. Well, what's going on to cause, especially a decline more so towards misbehaving. Samaj wasn't acting like this before said events. So now said events is happening. Now Samaj is acting like this. And so the young lady, jumping on her intuition, said, all right, well, let me put this hidden camera in my son's hair. Now, once again, in the video, we heard aggressive talking. We heard smacking. And so the mother is saying the child was pinched and choked, allegedly pinched and choked. The video sounded like some smacking and some other stuff. So a lot more may have went on in this as well.
And it took one day, one camera. And that's how God worked. If you believe in God, that's how he worked. That's how the power of Jesus Christ do. Because if I would have kept him, I said I can't send him back to the school next year if somebody's abusing him. And my son was sitting down. And this man walks over to him and calling him a nigger. and choking him? Do y'all have kids?
I have, yes, ma'am.
This has probably been happening every day. He's coming home with scratches on him, on his neck. It took one day.
And these people don't care. These people don't care about Samaj. These people don't care about this lady. These people at this point, and that's another problem with these damn institutions. These damn institutions, because they don't care about Samaj. They only care about their reputation at this point. That's what they're mostly, let me make myself big. That's what they're mostly caring about right now. Salvaging their reputation, salvaging their image, salvaging their name. They don't care about what happened to Samaj. They don't care about the length of the history of it. They don't. At this point, it's damage control. Now it's like, oh, so we need to make sure nobody thinks that we're racist and abusive. Well, guess what, people? Everybody think y'all racist and abusive until you prove otherwise. Why are we in this position? Why are we in this situation? And it's a grown man, alleged, because that's what we're hearing on the video, a grown man who is the alleged culprit in this incident. They don't give a damn about Samaj. Like the lady said, how come nobody's investigating? How come nobody, like if I was a teacher at that school and I hear something like that and it's an alleged teacher, hey, if I catch you in the teacher's lounge, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? We got some talking to do, especially something like that, a video like that. Hey, bro, you might not want to come back to this school. Crazy Joe teaching at this school. But it's like, they don't give a damn about us. They don't give a damn about our children. They don't. And they don't have to. They just there to get a check. They're just there to make it look like they're doing what they're supposed to do. Most of them are mainly there to make sure that the children who look like them get taken care of. And all the little black children that's sprinkled in, you may or may not get some love. You may or may not, most likely not. Black people, we have to educate our children within our own systems, within our own communities. It's imperative. For those of us who give a damn, I know most of us don't. So for those of us who give a damn, family planning is important. Community is important. Being able to insulate ourselves is important. Being able to nurture ourselves and protect ourselves is important as a people. It's very important. Black Butterflies, how you doing? Yeah, it's good that the cameras are available. It's good that the cameras were used. Like I said, so I'm not an expert in none of this stuff, but I do know something went wrong. Something happened that shouldn't have happened. I do know a young black boy who is nonverbal, autistic, was put in a position where he shouldn't have been put in by an adult, where he was threatened, intimidated, terrorized, and all those other things. I do know that. Now, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm not an expert, but I do know that young black boy shouldn't have been in that situation. I do know some adult took advantage of some young black boy. I do know that. I'm not a fool. I'm not an expert, but I'm not a fool either. But the fact that Samaj is in this position, or I would say one of the greatest factors that led to Samaj being in this position is being taught by people who don't give a damn about him or his well-being. I do know that. My bad. I'm bad. I don't know, man. My connection. I don't. I don't know the thing. I'm sorry about that. I'm back. I don't know. I keep getting knocked off, man. Let me bring this back up. All right.
Services are investigating abuse allegations at
All right, so we would this way. My bad. Yeah, man. This damn, I don't know, man. This damn connection, he bullshitting. But I'm back. All right, so we picking back up. Hey, I got to slap this thing like an old Nintendo, I guess. What's up, Battle Ganja? What's going on, Nemesis? Hey, you're right. You're right. You can't keep dealing with the same people expecting different results. So picking back up, this is what the mother is, talking with the school staff.
Calling him a nigger and choking him? Do y'all have kids?
I have, yes, ma'am.
This has probably been happening every day. He's coming home with scratches on him, on his neck. It took one day. This is just the worst. This is just the worst. And my composure right now is like at the best. It's at the best. It's at the best. I'm upset because when I seen it, I was just crying. I was like, God, I see this all the time, but why my baby? Why my sweet baby? You gotta go. And I kept sending her. I kept saying, just give him a chance to send him to school. Mama.
She need to get him out of that school ASAP. She got to get him out of that school ASAP. If he's still there, she got to get him out of that school ASAP. She got to get him in an environment with people who are going to actually give a damn about him, with people who are going to actually protect him, people who are going to actually look out for his best interest. These people don't have no incentive to look out for somebody's best interest. They just there to collect the check. You can see they don't give a damn. This lady in here about to break. She's literally breaking down in here because her son was just terrorized. Allegedly, we got to use the word allegedly. His son allegedly terrorized. And this lady is breaking down over here. And everybody, you can see they don't give a damn. But let's continue.
I kept sending my baby to hell every day. And the whole time Sarah wasn't here. Soon as Sarah walked out the room, he walked up to Tamara and just started touching and choking him. So just think of that weakness, he wasn't here. That y'all called me every day and I begged and please. I said, look, I don't know what's going on. This is somebody I'm trusting to take my son to the restroom every day.
And if these transcripts are true, that them wanting to tie him up, that's, hey man, throw their ass under the jail. But black folk, that's even more evidence for us. Well, we got to approach life different. Period. We got to approach life different. Your children ain't safe in the valley of your enemies. Just know that.
This is the worst, my little baby, my sweet baby. And he's so small and sweet. And he wasn't doing nothing. He just was sitting down. He sat down the whole class. As soon as Sarah said, I'm going to the restroom, he walked directly up to my baby. I can't even let nobody see the footage. I gotta call a lawyer. Like, I have to call my lawyer. I can't even let nobody see this footage because I can't even. Oh, I'm just sick of myself.
PC, what up?
This is just the worst ever. And I gotta tell his father this, and his father told me don't send him to the school. Somebody's doing something to our son.
Did you hear what she just said? Hey, PC, I don't know. You just popped up at the right time. Did you hear what she just said?
Worst father this and his father told me don't send him to the school. Somebody.
She said, I have to tell his father, and his father told me not to send him to this school. And he sent the boy to the school anyway. I was going to ask that about the father. I was going to wonder that about the father, because I know that's my child. I would need to be bailed out by now, because I would have been punching people. I would have been up at that school. And I would be livid at her, especially if I told her not to put the child in the school. Wow. Amen. Amen. We got to do life different. We got to do life different. We might need to listen to each other. I'm saying his father might have his best interests. You might need to listen to the father sometime. Now, that's not excusing the behavior of these terrorists out here. But what I am saying is, did you hear what she said? She said, I have to tell his father, and his father told me not to put him in the school. Maybe the father knew something about the school, the area or something that she didn't know, but the child was in the school, and unfortunately, the child was abused, allegedly. So if that's my child, he wouldn't be at the school, period. If I'm forced by circumstances to send my kid to one of these places, they get one strike and one strike only. I'm telling you, like, our children's safety has to be at the top of our minds.
Doing something to our son, and I still sent.
And I will speak for him.
This is her press conference speaking out after all of that. So
He trusted his school to protect him, to care for him, and to treat him with dignity. Instead, he was harmed, silenced, and failed by the very people who was supposed to keep him safe. What I discovered on the camera footage is something no parent should ever have to ever see or hear. Our child was put in a situation where he was scared, overwhelmed, and powerless. And while this was happening, there was adults in the room who did nothing to stop it. This is unacceptable. So today, we are demanding accountability and change. I'm calling for a full, immediate investigation. Every teacher, every staff member who has access to my son must be interviewed. There needs to be a complete and honest review of what is happening inside these classrooms. We are demanding that the individual actually who assaulted our son be terminated immediately.
Immediately.
And prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And not just him. Any staff member who witnessed this abuse and chose to stay silent must also be terminated. Silence is not a face of abuse, and just to be quiet and keep it going, it's you being complicity.
They have no incentive to speak up. Ain't no reason to speak up. Hey. Hey. The only reason I'm not they have no incentive to speak up. We know about this story because of the actions that the mother took. If the mother wouldn't have took these actions, her child would still be in that situation. We wouldn't, the world wouldn't know. She would still be suspecting, and her son would still be subjected to all of that if she wouldn't have took those actions. Now, she also should have listened to the father too, but the people who abused him need to be put under the jail. Of course, you know, my saying they need their ass whooped, but you know. So yeah, they not gonna speak up. They don't have no incentive to speak up. All they trying to do at this point, like I said earlier, all those folk at that school trying to do right now is salvage their reputation, salvage their jobs. That's it.
My son has severe nonverbal autism. He cannot speak, but I can. I am his voice, and I will speak for him.
Yes, ma'am.
And this cannot stop with my son. We are calling for Samaj law. A policy that requires cameras in a classroom that serves nonverbal and vulnerable children. Our children deserve protection, transparency, and accountability at all times. Not just when something goes wrong. No parent should have to question whether their child is safe at school.
Hey, Nemesis, trust me, I agree with you. I said, you know what? I'm gonna give some light to this story. I give light to the story because I agree with everything you're saying. Like it's gonna be minimum coverage, minimum punishment, minimum everything about this. I agree. But I said, you know what? Let me bring a little more light to this for Samaj. But I'm with you.
Because they cannot speak.
Yes, amen.
My son deserves justice. And we will not fight. I will not stop fighting until he gets it. Until no other child has to change or has to go through this. I am his voice, his eyes, his ears. He cannot speak, but I will speak for him. Justice for Samaj.
Right. Don't even make no sense. No way.
Heard a mother cry. Has to be some accountability.
No, you're right, Nemesis. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, it is about how they view the mother and how they have respect for her. And, like, it hasn't, like, being Crump them and none of those other ambulance chasers haven't attached their name to this. So, it's going to get minimal coverage.
If a kid is nonverbal, there's no way he should have to fight for his innocence. There's no way he should. It should be immediate questions on why he reacted the way he did. And my question is, how many more? Non-verbal.
In a class full of 7.
When you send your kids to school, you feel like that's a safe space.
Hello.
But to feel like that you gotta put a camera.
They're not going.
So unacceptable. But guess what?
I'm gonna get to that point, then.
These things are with us, the people. We determine who sits on board. We determine who writes the laws, your legislators. We have got to protect our most vulnerable population.
Miss NBC, first of all, welcome. And hey, you're not speaking out of turn. You're telling the truth. There are gaps where these mothers do need support. And so even to that point, I am wondering about the relationship between the mother and the father, because of the fact that the mother made the point of the child's father told her not to put the child in that school, and she did. She chose to put the child in that school anyway. For one, so it looks like the child, well, the father doesn't live in the same house with Samaj, and the mother and the father may not be on the best terms. So yes, there are gaps where they need support. Yes. Yeah. No, yeah. And see, that's why my overall thing is our community as a whole, like our community, Black people as a whole, we need to redo how we do everything. We need to redo how we do life. Because if we are more as a whole, or even as critical mass, if we're more intentional about creating community, we can be able to help and support each other more rather than having to put our children in schools and institutions and environments where the people don't give a damn about them. Because I mean, I understand, real life, everyday stuff. Like your child is, well, we do have a community, but it ain't the community we like. It ain't the community we like. It ain't a real community, but hey, it's something like that, but it ain't what we like. So they may have said, but did he have an alternative for care for his son? And see, well, that's a good question too. If he had an alternative for care for his son, that's a good question too. She didn't really go into more details. So that's why I'm questioning the relationship between her and the father. Because I'm going back off what she's saying. The way she voiced it is like, well, the father told me not to put him in this school. So I'm hoping that there was an alternative, but she didn't give us more information. So that's just what we have. So we just speculating from there. So once again, that's why I'm wondering like the relationship between her and the father, because the father said, hey, let's put him over here. And going back to one of the points I said earlier, maybe the father may have known a little bit about the school, maybe or maybe not. But I'm wondering what was the reason behind the father saying, don't put my son in this particular school, because I'm exploring that as well.
Had another parent that reached out. Right after this.
I'm not sure who this person is that's speaking here. I'm not sure who she is.
I'm gonna bring her up. I'm just gonna tell you some things that happened with her child. So many parents wanted to show up today. So many parents wanted to speak out. So they're not getting anywhere with Jefferson County Public Schools. They just want to feel heard. They want to know that something's gonna happen. They want to know that it's okay to send their kids back to school. Yeah. Education is so vital. But safety.
Hey.
For our youth.
Unfortunately, our community is a long way from prevention. Unfortunately, our community don't value prevention.
It's way more important. I want to know that my child's gonna make it home.
Come on, say
That part.
So I'm gonna let Miss Monet come up and speak about her child and what happened with Jefferson County Public Schools.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know where to start at. I don't want to take nothing from you because when you was up here talking, I could feel your sorrow in your heart. My son is also autistic and he's nonverbal, but he knows how to talk. He knows Spanish, Swahili, and English. Yes, he's very intelligent. He's 6 years old and he's very affectionate with me, with family, with people that he don't know because he doesn't know. But the way my son was treated at Big Elementary, it's just not, I just can't understand how they could do a precious child like that.
So I'm guessing this lady here is saying that her son was mistreated at this school as well. See, see, I'm gonna get to that, Nemesis. I'm gonna close my show out on that. But of course, that's one of the biggest issues. That's one of the saddest things is our children will continue to be subjected to things like this because as a whole, the adults don't take it serious.
I have 6 other kids, and none of my kids is like King. His name is King Joshua, y'all. He was getting mistreated to the point to where the staff was calling CPS on themselves. The staff, the security guard on March the 26th, my son failed because they let him walk around the whole school with his pull-up on, y'all. Let him take his pants and his shoes off. And I'm just like, if anybody see a kid and be like, hey, this little girl's in here, come on, put your shoes and your pants back on. You can't walk around like this. When nobody in the school like addressing that, I redirected him to do that. So on the 26th of March, he fell and hit his head, y'all. And he had a big concussion. And his head was so big, it was like orange. His head was like an orange. So I rushed my son to the emergency room, and they just told me just to come and get him. Because when you autistic, you don't want nobody to touch your ears. You don't want nobody to touch your head. So he was really crying, and they couldn't assess him. They couldn't get no vitals on him. They couldn't help my baby, and he fell that serious. I don't know the seriousness of the fall, but how hard how big his head was, you couldn't imagine what happened to him. Yeah. So we stayed in the hospital all night on the 26th. When I got there, the doctors was asking me, did he black out? Did he lose consciousness? I couldn't answer none of no questions. They did not let me see an incident report. They told me that the whoever was his teacher was when my son at the school. So Miss Kim is the principal. She would call and say, my husband, I'm short of staff. Can you keep King home? I don't have nobody to keep an eye on him. And we going on a field trip tomorrow. It's just like, we going on a field trip tomorrow. Can you keep King home? Because I'm short of staff. So months was going by, y'all. So many days that I kept my son home, and I'm so grateful that I did keep him home because she was telling me that she wasn't going to watch him and wasn't nobody going to watch him. Several times that
I'm not sure if any legal representation is anywhere around here.
He won't get this up. So when I used to come, my son used to be in there without any clothes. It's so heavy for me. It's so heavy to hear her say that she did.
Schools, Big and Field Elementary, we respect that there is a formal process.
And I wonder, who is this woman here? Who is she? Because she seemed like the one who is the leader of all of this. But what's going? Yeah, it is.
In place, and that investigations take time to establish the full set of facts. We are not here to prejudge again. However, our office is issuing a clear call to action regarding how that process is managed.
I'm confused.
We will not take these things happening lightly. In previous situations involving allegations or active investigations into student-teacher interactions, we have seen employees removed or reassigned from the classroom environment while investigations are underway.
Yes. Exactly.
One of my own former colleagues was breaking up a fight. He had to prove his innocence while under investigation.
What they got to do with some
They immediately
go a little further ahead. Is that?
Well, I'm a grown Native American. As a mom, I do worry because our mom and dad knows their child. And the teacher keeps telling us our child's misbehaving, your child's bad. But no, my child's not like that.
a disability child, they're really kind, they're really sweet.
Donations.
As a mom, when we hear this news, it just broke my heart. Like, is this happening at this school? Is it just only for this child? Is it happening to other children too? Well, I'm a brown Native American and we're affected by it too.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm worried as a parent because is he still working? Because I don't want him to be at that school. I don't
that matter. You know, and I will be very candid and transparent with everyone.
She don't know.
And said that there was an investigation. But prior to that, no one even acknowledged to us that there was an investigation going on, that was going on. When you're dealing with people's kids, right? Right. Most of you all in this room have kids.
Nah, Nemesis, don't stop now.
You want to know what's going on with your kids' investigation. That's right. Yes. Especially when they cannot speak for themselves.
So they got cerebral palsy.
There's.
And so that's the end of that. But yeah, Nemesis, nah. You gotta keep climbing, man. We too deep in. You gotta keep climbing, man. So it's a lot. It's a lot in that. Because we have to redo how we do everything. From what we just watched, like everybody in the comments is saying, only thing we was missing was the organ, the bass player, and the drummer. That's all we was missing. And a reverend with a jerry curl, right? Because how does what we just saw actually keep not just Samaj but other young black kids, whether they are nonverbal or not, safe? This is further indictment on what it looks like when we continue to refuse to get our stuff together. And all of us are vulnerable, but especially our children. Hey, hey, man, all of us are vulnerable, but especially our children, and especially the children who can't speak for themselves are vulnerable. How do vulnerable people protect themselves? How do vulnerable people protect their children? Even in looking at the dynamics of all of that that's going on, right? Once again, like I wonder what is the relationship between the mother and the father. The father say, hey, let's not put my child in this school. The child is still put into the school. So I'm wondering what's going on behind that. Also, just thinking about how we always criticize the education system, how we always criticizing school systems, but we never create enough of our own school systems for ourselves. And then the ones we do have, we don't support like we're supposed to support. Let our Usher and Chris Brown concert happening. Black people spending all their damn money on Usher and Chris Brown, but their kids can't read. We don't give a damn about ourselves. Our vacant esteem is showing. And because we have so much vacant esteem, our children will continue to get stepped on, unfortunately. There's no, from what I'm seeing, and like we're all saying in the comments, there ain't gonna be no real consequences to this. They should have reached out to Ben Crump. Why not? It would have been better than what we saw. Hell, I could have did a better press conference than that. But like you say, there's no strategy, nothing to move forward. It is just a plea to people's emotions to get us to spread awareness. Okay, we are aware. So what's the solution? Black people, we always get caught up in spreading awareness. What's the solution? I feel bad for the young man. I feel bad for Sabaj. and not just Samaj, other young our other young black boys and young black girls who are in these type of situations, because once again, us as adults continue to drop the ball as a whole, because as a community, we should give a damn more to make sure we keep our children safe. I don't know how much justice they're going to get out of that. Yeah. We need each other. We need each other. I'm just saying we need each other. It's just another installment. We need each other. Like, I wouldn't even expect the show to kind of go this way, but it went this way. Because I saw a lot of these clips, but yeah. How we approach everything needs to be changed. How we approach everything, how we approach life, period, needs to be changed. Because as of right now, we really don't have a future. There isn't a future for Black America. There will just be a collection of Black people who are in America. So once again, this is a school night, so you know I got to go ahead and shut this thing on down. But the solution, one of the solutions to things like that is us really investing and taking advantage of and putting our kids in these Black community co-op schools, like Patrick have the Footprint School, or even Q Butter Zayed School. All these Black schools that we have, like, let's support them. And really support them, like, with our money, with our passion, like being the parent who makes sure your child doing what they supposed to do, like all these things, like building more. Like once again. And I'm not saying I have an everyday school, but I have a free Black History school every second and fourth Saturday from 11 to 1, a free school. And most of the people who I create the school for don't bring their children. We like to complain when things go wrong. And like Nemesis said earlier, we just bypass prevention. We complain when things go wrong. And shout out to you, Miss NBC. Shout out to you, because our children need to be in environments where people who give a damn about them. Part of my academic foundation, I went to a preschool here in Tallahassee called Miracle Temple. And shout out to Miracle Temple. Mother and Bishop Henderson. It was a Black owned, still operates today. All Black owned, Black ran preschool that's attached to, I think, a Baptist church or type of church, but that's my foundation. My brother left Miracle Temple and went to I can't think of a name of it, but one of the main teachers was Miss Olabisi. And it was a African-centered school. And yeah. So, yeah. So you can't expect Simulated to go look for an all-Black school until that child gets affected, and then maybe, hey, yeah, that's the sad part about it. That's a sad truth. But you know. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, May 20th. Oh, and my brother's birthday tomorrow, May 20th. So shout out to my brother, Wallace Ward. Y'all tell my brother happy birthday. He over on Facebook. Y'all tell my brother happy birthday. It's his birthday tomorrow. So shout out Wallace. He old as hell. He gonna be 1,044 years old. So shout out to my brother. But tomorrow at 7 p.m., myself, Professor Carl Tone Jones, Patrick Irvin. We're talking about Patrick Irvin and Professor Carl Tone Jones's favorite psychologist, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Shout out to you all. Patrick actually went to school with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and PC used to teach Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So we're going to talk about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant tomorrow, but also not just that, the impact of the community, but why Black people are still so gullible, and we always falling for the grift, always doing this. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, giving good perspective on what's going on out here in the community, right? So, hey, adults, the community ain't gonna get better until we be better. All right. So y'all make sure you go out and be your best Black self. All right. And I apologize for my little technological glitches these last couple lives. I don't know, man. We're trying to get it right, but I appreciate y'all being here through the struggle streaming. And once again, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like this video, comment, subscribe, share, hit the hype button. Hey, Battle Genja talking about we're Theotard. Hey, man, we are tards all on the spectrum, man. Y'all be cool, man. Love your black selves. We'll see y'all later, man. See y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Be here.